Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of The Buddy List. Today we are joined by another buddy of mine by the name of Catherine Pascerella to talk about her life-changing journey. Almost a year ago, she made the decision to get gastric sleeve surgery. We go into depth about the surgery preparation, the recovery period, and how she's currently getting used to her new life. Please enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Here is episode 4 of The Buddy List. Welcome to episode 4 of The Buddy List. Here with my friend, Kat.
Hello.
How you doing, Kat?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Do you remember when we first started talking?
Yeah. I don't know when.
From where? Like what app?
No idea.
It was Bumble.
Was it really?
Yeah, you're still Bumble Cat.
Really? So I reached out to you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And then you ghosted me.
Oh.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. It happens. So, water main break today, huh?
Yeah. I was like, I got up to come here and I went to go turn on the water and it was like, dripple, dripple, dripple. I'm like, what in the hell? And then again, I called my mom and I was like, literally, because I lived downstairs in the basement. And I called her on my cell phone. I'm like, Mom, what's going on here? And she's like, I don't know. I think they're doing something. And I was like, Mom, we live in a house. Who's they? And she's like, I don't know. And then she got an email, I guess, from the town that a water main break and that they would hopefully have water back on by the afternoon.
That's actually pretty good because it sounds like water main break is a serious thing. And by the afternoon, I feel like there's other places that it takes like weeks.
Right, like, or like 24 hours,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like bad, they have to like shut down the street. But no, like an hour later, I was like, all right, Tim, still coming over.
You could have taken a shower here. I just took a shower like 10 minutes ago. That's why I'm still
But
sweating.
I got like all my girly stuff, got my hair stuff,
She's
my
like,
makeup.
can I come later so my hair can be right?
Yes. My hair.
What's wrong with your hair now?
I was gonna wear it down, but then I was like, you know what?
I like it. It's like a fitness video hair from like
Yes,
the
I
90s.
know.
Yeah.
Love it. I was trying. That's exactly what I was going for, actually.
That's good.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But yeah. But I feel like every time we're hanging out, there's like some weird thing going on. You're like, oh, I can't. Someone's sick. Water main break. And then one time you were like, there's an asteroid. I can't come over.
I believe it was a meteor.
Oh yeah, meteor.
Yes, it was coming down exactly where I was. So I had.
Yes. So this right here, this is the new cat, right?
This is the new cat.
How does it feel?
Crazy that it's actually still happening because I keep I don't know, I keep pausing in my journey and then like I just keep going. Like today I woke up and I was like, I hit like a new low and I was like, oh wow, shit.
But that's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I hit a new low and I'm celebrating.
Low is a number.
I know. I hit a new low. But for context, you got the gastric sleeve.
Yes.
Which is not what it sounds like. They like cut out most of your stomach, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like a sleeve. Like honestly, like when they first told me about it, I was like, oh, like a sleeve. Like I imagined like a sock. Like they were gonna put like a sock on my sleeve.
So nothing else not much can go in there, right?
Right. I didn't think they were actually gonna change my stomach. And then I went for my first appointment, and he gave me like the diagram where it's like your esophagus. And then it leads to like your whole stomach and then down to your intestines. And then they literally have like scissors that come across and they cut out 2/3 of it or 80%, 82% of it. And they cut out that part of your stomach. And then they like create a new stomach for you that's very, very small.
Right. And from my understanding, the normal stomach you like can stretch.
Yes.
But that part that they cut out, the part that they leave there cannot stretch again, can it?
It can.
It can. The doctor I went to said it can't. But I figured it's possible, but it's not probable.
So my doctor said that it's very unlikely mine will stretch too because the way he did it was or I guess the surgery wise is when they go in they have to cut with the scissor, but as it's like this clamp where it clamps down and then like does the sutures. And then like they do it again and like does the sutures, right? So you're actually supposed to technically, I believe, stay in surgery while they like put fluid like ink into your stomach to make sure there's no holes, and then like they get you out of surgery. But he was like, I don't like that process, so I actually make that cut and then like I fold it inside itself and make an additional suture, so it's like double like stitched. So it's like, I guess, harder to stretch it.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm a part of a couple Facebook groups and like it's all over the place. Just if you have an eating disorder and you just can't stop yourself from eating, like you're going to stretch it back out. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because he made it sound like, nope, this is permanent 100%. That's the scariest part, is that it's like permanent. Like, was that, how long was your decision-making process where you first discovered like what this was? Or did you go in like me? Because I heard you got this done, but I've heard about there's like three different things you can do.
Right.
There's the gastric bypass, which is like stapling.
Right.
There's the one that's not used a lot anymore, which is the one I was going to do, which is the lap band surgery.
Oh, yeah, the lap band, yep.
But it's not popular at all because it does not make you less hungry.
Right.
It just makes it so if you eat too much, you throw it up.
Right.
And that
sounds miserable.
What I'm looking for. Yeah.
No. So, so my dad actually got the gastric bypass when I was in high school. So that was like 2008. Mm-hmm. So
we're the same age, right?
Yeah, I'm 31.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. It was 14 years ago.
Right.
And so he did that, and he was like 600 pounds. Like, it was like life-saving. Like, we had to sit down as a family and decide if we were going to do the surgery, like if he was going to do it. And we basically like talked about the pros and cons because he was just not able to move like he should have, and he was just having a bunch of health issues. So he decided to do it, did it, literally lost like 2 people, and is now like 210, 215. But he was like,
how tall is he?
He's 6'2".
So 210 for 6'2" is probably
yeah.
right there.
Oh yeah, and but he was like 620. He was like, he should have been on my 600-pound life, but he, that wasn't popular back then.
Yeah.
But he did the bypass. So the bypass is actually where you have the stomach, right? They cut out the majority of the stomach and like leave like a little pocket, but then take out some of your intestines and like reroute your system. Oof. So it's a little bit more intense.
Yeah, that sounds scary.
Yeah. So a lot of the people on the Facebook groups are who do the sleeve and then they stretch it back out and they gain the weight back. They go back to the doctor and they're like, well, we can't do the sleeve again, so we're going to have to do the bypass now.
Wow.
And then they're like, oh my God, again, I've got to go through this. But the bypass, like, stretching that little thing out, it's like I believe it's like the size of like an egg and a half. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's really hard to stretch that back out to the size it was.
Yeah.
I'd imagine, but organs are crazy.
So who did you go to? Was it like the same people that your dad went to?
It was.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, Dr. Michael Nussbaum in Cedar Knolls.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. So he does a lot, actually. I believe he also does like plastic surgery, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I believe he actually if you come back, you can have like skin removal surgery with him.
I was going to say it makes sense
Right.
for the tummy tuck and stuff like that.
100%. But so I decide, okay, so my dad got this done, and then so what happened to me? So I went to college, and I was at Syracuse University, and then senior year I was student teaching, and literally I was just working my butt off. I mean, at that time I believe I was like 220 I was like 220, and I was like working my butt off, not really eating, and just from like kind of starvation, I went down to like 195, and that was like the lowest I'd been since like 8th grade. And I was like 22, 21. And so then I was in a relationship, and that we started in college, and then I found out 3 years in that he was cheating on me. So then I basically like ballooned back up to like 270, 275. It was like the highest I'd been. And then we were engaged and we broke it off. And then I jumped into another relationship, but I broke my leg in between those two relationships. Yeah. And so I couldn't move. Yeah. And then my mom was like, "Oh, you want a grilled cheese? That'll make you feel good." Because I was like in pain and upset.
Comfort food.
So literally like every day I had a grilled cheese. And then like I ballooned to like 290, and then in the next relationship I was just unhappy, depressed, just not functioning correctly, and the highest I got was 340 was the highest. So I got out of that relationship about like 2.5 years ago. And my parents kind of sat me down, my family did, and they were like, listen, like, we got to get this weight off. Like, you're going through so much. Like, it'll make you feel better. And I was like, yeah. They're like, why don't you consider surgery? And I'm like, no, like, that's the easy way out. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. And they're like, but Kat, it's not the easy way out. And I was like, no, it is. I can do this on my own. Like I did this to myself. I can undo it. And so then for like the next year and a half, I really tried to lose weight on my own. And I went from 340 to 320. And then it was literally like the end of September of last year, my cousin sat me down. She had gastric bypass when she was 18. She also has weight issues. And she is now at a healthy weight. And she was like, why don't you just consider it? Like, it's not my surgery, but like, it's a little less like crazy, like intense, the gastric sleeve. Why don't you just consider it? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, why don't you just go to the doctor? Like, what's it going to hurt to go?
And they can tell you everything. That's why I went. Yep.
Right. So I went, and literally Dr. Nozan made me feel so calm, cool, and collected. And he is like, listen, it's going to be intense, but like so you basically go to that appointment, and you have to stand on this like machine where you have to like pick up the arms of it and like stand there, and literally it measures how much fat is in each of your limbs. Like it says like your midsection, each leg, and then each arm. And literally like because I'm right-handed, my right side is heavier than my left side. And, most of my weight was in my tummy. And he was like, you hold a ridiculous amount of weight in your stomach. Like, it's going to be very hard for you to lose it. And then I also have PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. So my hormones are all out of whack. And so he basically explained that the stomach also produces hormones, and the hormones that the stomach was producing wasn't allowing me to lose weight like I was trying to. Because I was like eating healthy, I was working out, and like nothing was coming off. I was like, this is ridiculous. And he was like, literally the only thing that's going to like really help you and change your life is this surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they told you basically it's impossible for you to lose the weight naturally.
Basically. They said it was going to be very, very difficult. Like I'd struggle with it for the rest of my life.
So when I went in, they didn't do any intricate things like what you said, that they measure every part of your body. They just took my weight and said, if you want to do this, you can't gain any weight at this point. That's like a rule.
You can't gain any more weight?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
That was like a rule. And that's what I've seen on like the shows, like with what's his name, Dr. No or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dr. Now.
Dr. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said like
you did not lose any weight.
Yeah. That's everyone always does that. 6 month. Yeah. But
you got 6 months. We'll try again.
But they didn't do any of that. But even so, I was like, all right, maybe I will do what you did and give it one last try. Talk to the nutritionist, because they give you a nutritionist too.
Right.
Talk to this nutritionist. So I made an appointment with her. We talked on FaceTime, and all I did was tell her my weight, like I don't know what it was, 320 or something, and she was like, okay. She didn't have that much information on me because they didn't do all that stuff they did with you.
Right.
She's like, yeah, you're not going to lose any of that weight. So you're not going to lose all that weight. So yeah, you should probably get the surgery. I don't know. It just gave me a really bad taste in my mouth.
Right.
Like, not the fact that she said I can't do it, but she doesn't have any information. So it was almost like, oh, if you're that high, it's impossible. And that's not true.
Right. That's not true.
Like, I don't have, maybe I do have other things wrong with me. Like, you have the hormone issues that definitely stop you from being able to do it yourself, but I don't think I have any of those issues. So for her just to say that, I was like, they're just like trying to sell the surgery, and that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
And she just gave me this like kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, they make you go to a nutritionist. That's part of it,
right? And that makes perfect sense because 100%. It's important.
Yeah, and my nutritionist was very like comforting. She was like, there's all the stages. She explained the stages, what they look like, how they were going to be there for me if they needed anything and all that. So it was really, really helpful. But so I met them. It was like the beginning of October of last year. I had that appointment, and I was like, okay, so like, what does this look like, with me getting this done? And they were basically like, you could go through insurance and it'll take about 6 to 9 months. And to be honest, we were going, my family and I, we were all 16 of us, we were going to Disney and we were going to go to Universal. And the last time we were there, I wasn't able to go on any rides because I was too big. And I love rides. I love roller coasters. Like I'm an adrenaline junkie. And like to go and try.
I'm the opposite.
To basically in front of my nephews, go and try to get on rides with them when they were like, I want to ride with Aunt Kat. And then try to get on and then be told by the person, like, you can't fit, like, you have to get off. Like,
yeah, that's embarrassing. Like, just.
Yeah. And then like you get upset and then like my nephews would come up and be like, I'm so sorry, Aunt Kat. And I'm like, I can't go through this again. So they were like, so we kind of, they said, 6 to 9 months, which would have put us, I don't know, like April-ish. And we were going July. And I basically like sat down with my family and I was like, that's not a lot of time to lose enough weight to go on rides. Now this sounds like really weird, but like it's all mental, like what I'm explaining. And so he said, but Dr. Nussbaum, he's like, but we also you're allowed to pay out of pocket. So I kind of had a conversation with my family and basically they did help me out, but I paid for it to get done. And I had it done December 21st of 21.
Wow, right before Christmas. Nice little present, huh?
Yeah, it was, oh, yeah. So I got to enjoy Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Like, they didn't give me those requirements where, like, you weren't allowed to gain more weight. So I was, like, eating. I was like, yo, never. Like, I was going to the electric chair. I was like, Thanksgiving. I was like,
stock up on the good stuff now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It was great. I ate, like, 10, 20 cookies, like, the night before surgery. Well, before midnight. And,
Because then you turn into a gremlin.
Yeah. Exactly. But, even though you like pay out of pocket, like you still had to go through all the requirements. So, I forget what it's called, but like the one procedure where like you have to go in and they have to go in through a camera and like down and look at your stomach. I had to do that.
Endoscopy?
Yes. That was a requirement. Cardiologist approval was one. And like my cardiologist was like, yeah, you need this. Yes, I'm approving you. Like you've got high blood pressure. Like, let's do this. And then, the third one was everyone needs a psych eval before going through it. So, I had to do the psych eval and it was like a little intimidating and worrisome.
What was that about? Like, what?
So basically, cause they do fail a lot of people actually. Like it's not like something easy, like it just like, hey, what's up? Okay, I'm doing the surgery. All right, cool. We're done. I'll approve you. Like it's not that. So basically I met him through through Zoom and he was like very like intimidating. He was like, okay, what surgery are you doing? And I'm like, the gastric sleeve. And he is like, is that different than the gastric bypass? I said, yes.
Wow.
And he was like, how is it different? And like, so then like we did that. And then he asked me like why I was doing this, what were my reasons behind it. And I was like, obviously I want to live longer. Like I'm not, I want to have kids. I want to like be a mom. Like I can't carry a child at this weight. Like no way. And he was like, okay, I understand. And he was like, you understand when you do this, there is no going back. And I was like, yes, I understand. And basically, it was more like that. It was just making sure that, like, you understand, like, that's
a good thing, though, I think. Because I think a lot of people are like, yeah, let's just do it without knowing anything. So they're making sure that you know every step of the process and what they're doing to your body.
Right.
It's a serious thing.
Right. Like, I have a friend who was going to get plastic surgery. She had another weight loss surgery, and she was going to go and get like a 360 like removal for her extra skin, and she actually failed the psych eval because like they kind of really drilled it home, like when you wake up, like your skin is gone, like your body
like
is
a part of you is not
like
there.
You go to sleep and you wake up and you're in a new body. And I guess she like had a hard time. I guess she admitted like that's going to be really hard for me. And he was like, I don't think it's time. I think we should try in another like 3 or 4 months and then we'll come back to this. So I was like, I knew it was possible to fail it, but it was, I got that done. And then,
so it hasn't even been a year yet.
No.
And you've had a lot of progress. Like,
yeah. So day of surgery, I weighed in at 315. And then this morning I was 189. So, yeah, so crazy, like 100 and if I can do the quick math, 100.
You are a math person,
and 26 pounds, 126 pounds.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks. It's like a person.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, but like I still look in the mirror and I'm like, whoa, who is this? Oh my God. What? I'm like, why do I look like this? Yeah, like I haven't been this weight like maybe like since 7th grade.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, that's how I would be. Like.
Yeah, because I know I was in the 200s definitely for high school.
Yeah. I was like 210 in high school or something.
Yeah, it was a lot. But it's really life-changing. But oh yeah, the other requirement is that you have to meet with the nutritionist at least 3 times before they agree to do the surgery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that way she could like explain everything to you.
That's what I feel like I needed to have, like a sort of like chemistry right off the bat with someone that I'm going to be talking to that much. And this lady just didn't, I don't know.
Right.
It just didn't do it for me.
Right.
Yours, you sounded like she was really nice.
Yeah, she was really cool. She brought me through the phases. So Like, so you go into surgery and then you wake up, and they talked about it on the groups that I'm a part of. They said that the gas is unbelievably excruciatingly painful. And I'm like, whatever, and they're like, your doctor's going to tell you.
In general or right after the surgery?
When you wake up.
Okay.
Because they have to like inflate your stomach so that way they can do this. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm really good with pain, whatever. And I woke up and I was in intense pain. Yeah, I was in really bad pain. And like, they were like, you got to walk it out, because they like walk it. They want you to walk so you could burp it, or like fart it, like get it out somehow. But it is like so excruciatingly painful. And when I went for surgery, I didn't have my glasses. I didn't have my contacts in. So I woke up and I was in so much pain. I was in recovery because my blood pressure was too high, and they wouldn't let me out of recovery. So I was the first one on the table at 6 a.m. And then apparently I got out of surgery around like 8:30 a.m. And I was in recovery until 6 p.m. I was in there for 9 hours because my blood pressure would not come down. And then it was like COVID time. They're still like scared of COVID. So my mom was able to come back once. And then I was like, I'm really in pain. I want my mom. Like, I know she's in the waiting room. I want her here. And they're like, well, we're in recovery. She's not allowed to come in here. She's only allowed to come in here once. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I need my mom. And they're like, I'm sorry. So like, I was just there by myself. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, my nurses were like, yeah, I did not write a very good review for my beginning nurses.
Yeah, no.
Because, and I was like trying to explain, I'm like, I can't see. Like, you don't understand. Like, she's got my glasses. She's got like my stuffed elephant. Like, I want all of that.
Like, you're just so vulnerable right now.
100%.
None of them were giving you any comfort or anything.
Right. No. And like, they were giving me pain meds, but like, it wasn't like enough to like take away the gas or anything like that. So, I was on and off falling asleep. And then finally, my doctor's like, I guess like surgical person who was with me all morning was like came, and she's like, I heard you're still here. Why are you here? And I'm like, my blood pressure won't come down. And I started crying, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I can't see. I don't have my phone, and I don't have my stuffed animal. Like 30. And she's like, okay. And she's like, what can I do? I'm like, please let my mom come back. Like, she has all of that. Just let me see my mom. And so she basically did an override and was like, her mother's coming back here, just so you're aware. And so the nurses, like, I guess were like upset. But then my mom came back, gave me my glasses, gave me my phone, and gave me my stuffed elephant. And so then she went back to the waiting room, and literally the whole time I was able to text a guy I was seeing at that time. And he like kept me company through the whole recover, like while I was awake in recovery and in pain and all that. And then finally I got out of recovery at 6 p.m. My blood pressure dropped. I got the new nurses changed in. My blood pressure finally chilled. And then the new nurses was like, oh my God, they're down. Okay, keep it here. We're got to get you out of here. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
She's like, just breathe normal. And I was like, okay. And so I got out of there. I went upstairs. They did like a final check, and they were like, okay, you're good to go. And so then I went home that same day. The only time you don't go home that same day, I believe, is if you have a later surgery date in the morning. Yeah. But I was the first one there. So that's why when you pay out of pocket, you're allowed to decide like in which order you go. So I went first.
Nice.
And so that way I didn't have to pay extra to stay in the hospital. So then I went home and
that's perfect.
Went home and went to bed.
Was your mom there the whole day?
Mom was there the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, God love her.
That's what my mom would do.
Yeah, God love her. She was and she was like a worry. They weren't telling her anything.
That's the worst part. Oh my God.
She's like, why is my daughter? Oh, I just kicked the table. She's like, why is my daughter not being released? I don't understand. Like, she should be in a room upstairs, like doing a final check or whatever. And they're like, we're sorry, we don't have any information. And she's like, are you kidding me?
That's scary. Because even when my mother went in for hip surgery, like my last time my parent went for surgery, they didn't come back. So when my mom went for hip surgery, I was like freaking out. I think because I had to drop her off real early. She had an early one, and I went back to sleep, woke up, I was like, well, I have not heard anything. I think they called me to say like she was in recovery, and I was like finally like, oh my God, okay.
Right.
When can I see her? And then she finally called me, I think, and I was like, oh my God.
Right.
And hip surgery is pretty cool because she was like walking right away.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know.
My dad's had 3 knee replacements and a hip replacement because that's also they warned him. They were like, you're gonna have this bypass and you're gonna lose a lot of weight, but like your body's it's gonna like react to carrying all this weight for the whole of your life, because he had it at like 50, 51 when he had the surgery, and literally since then he's had one knee replacement and then another knee replacement. But then the first knee replacement was faulty and started sticking. So like he'd fall when he'd walk because the replacement would stick, and then he'd like
God.
just like fall. So we needed a third knee replacement and then a hip replacement because of
Man,
like
he's
the
like
lack
more
of cartilage.
machine now than man.
Seriously. Really. So yeah, so knock on wood, but like thank God for doctors. Like he's really yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so it was a lot, and then yeah, and then literally the next day you start right in on phase 1, and it's
All those milkshakes, right, or something?
no. So
No?
the first week is everything clear. You're only allowed to drink clear things.
Wow.
So you have to drink water.
Were you in a lot of pain?
Yes. So you have to have at least 64 ounces of fluid a day,
Okay.
which is a lot,
Yeah.
because you're in pain from the gas. And then the gas is, you hate your life for like the first 2 days. Okay. Literally, I was like, I made the worst decision of my life. I actually was crying. My ex's mom had the surgery. She reached out to me on Facebook and she's like, I see you had the surgery. How are you doing? And I'm like, wait, I broke up with your son. Are you sure? And, and she was like, it's okay. How are you? And I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain and I'm really struggling. And she's like, it's okay. It only lasts a couple days and then like it's totally gone. Just, walk. Just keep walking. Every time, you're in pain, you got to walk, and then you'll burp and then you'll feel so much better. So that was good. But
so it wasn't necessarily surgery pain. It was the gas pain?
It was the gas pain.
Okay.
It lasts in there for about 3 days.
And obviously they don't make you take Maalox or Tums or anything.
Nope.
You just got to naturally get that out of there.
Exactly.
Did your mom try to burp you?
No.
That's what I'd be like, Mom, come burp
Mom, help me. All right, I'm ready. No, it's just walking. And literally, it's so crazy. You get up and you take like 2 or 3 steps and you're like burping. Yeah, literally.
So
I'm like, oh my God. And then it feels so good because you're like, oh my God, get it out. Get
yeah,
it out. But then, yeah, so your stomach's so small. And then it does hurt because it's stitched, and you're drinking your fluid, but you could only have like a tiny sip like at a time.
Oh.
If you have too much, I remember I had intense pain like right in my chest if I took too much at a time, like 3, like I'm a big gulper.
Right.
Like
Same.
when I was drinking, like I used to just like chug back a Red Bull, whatever. And so I was used to drinking like large sips. And so I was like trying to take baby sips, and then like I would take like multiple baby sips, and then it would get stuck and I'm like, ooh, bad choice. Ooh, bad choice. And it would hurt. So
Has it ever made you throw up from having too much?
yeah, so currently I don't I mean, I do get sick, but it's very rare. Like maybe once every 3 months, and I know it. It's sauce for me. Like tomato sauce, what else? The sauce in chicken and broccoli, Chinese food. That sauce mixed with the chicken, that'll get me sick. And just what happens is like it'll fill up, and then I'll have like a little sip of water. You're not supposed to drink when you eat, but I like.
So you're not supposed to drink when you eat?
You're not supposed to. You're actually just supposed to eat, and then after you're done eating, you feel full. You're supposed to wait 30 minutes and then drink.
Wow.
And I was like, no, that's not working for me because I need to drink something
That's
when
so
I eat.
weird because yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't do this. And then I remember what I tried it like when I moved. So first stage was all clear liquids, right? So it's water, it's Gatorade Zero, it's chicken broth, and that gets so annoying by like because it's every 3 weeks you get to change.
Okay.
So like by week 3, it's like come on, and then the second phase is mashed potatoes. You get so excited for mashed potatoes. But then by the end of week 3 of mashed potatoes, you're like, I'm never having mashed potatoes again. And then you get to the pureed stage where you're allowed to eat chicken and turkey as long as it's like ground up and really cut really, really, really small. And then veggies. But they have to be steamed veggies, no raw veggies. No fruits. Yeah, no fruits, no carbs, and no sugars, obviously. And you have to stick with water. So I was on that stage, and I remember eating like ground turkey and like some cauliflower. But then they also say for protein, you're allowed to have, I think it's like Light and Fit yogurt. So like that was, I'd have like a little tiny container of like turkey and cauliflower, and then I'd finish it with like my dessert was like the yogurt. And so like I had like 2 spoonfuls of yogurt, and then like it got stuck. And like I was like, oh my God, I feel like so it got stuck right here. So it's past your cords of like you're choking. So like your body isn't choking, but yet you are having a hard time breathing. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like in my classroom, and I was like walking around like in front of the air conditioner, and I was like freaking out. And kids were coming in, and they're like, Miss P, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. Oh my God. And so I ran across the hall, and I was like, I need to use the restroom. And my friend Jess was like, yeah, sure. So she comes over, watches my classroom, and I went to the bathroom, and it was the first time I got sick. I like made myself get sick because I couldn't breathe.
Right.
So I got sick, and the yogurt, and it's not I know it's like really weird, like you get sick. It's really nothing scary. I thought it was like, oh, I hate getting sick when I have stomach viruses. That's awful. Yeah. It's not. It's literally the food is right there. It's like it just went down and then come up. Yep.
It's almost like a baby like spitting up, I guess.
It is, honestly. So like literally the yogurt went down, and then I got sick, and then the yogurt came out, and I could breathe, and I was like, okay, all right. Well, won't do that again. And now we know that we've got to drink when we eat because it's going to get stuck. It basically wasn't getting pushed down into my stomach, if you could imagine. So nowadays, I really am not restricted. The only things I do stay away from are steak, even though I love steak. It is hard to digest. Milk, I have hard time. I was talking to my friend actually last night, but milk is hard, but ice cream is somewhat easy. Like soft serve vanilla ice cream goes down no problem. That's the worst thing, right? Because it's like I shouldn't like that so much, because I don't want to go back to those eating habits. But so like vanilla ice cream is like okay, and then like second stage is like mint and strawberry and chocolate. Like those are okay. Sometimes a little stomach ache, but like nothing bad. But anything like Graham Slam or like Rocky Road, like a bunch of stuff mixed in. Oh, my stomach is like, girlfriend, what'd you do?
It just makes it hurt, or
just hurt. And so then I have to, normally the only thing that helps when it's hurting is laying down horizontal. And then like I'm laying down, I'm like, well, this is annoying. Can this end?
So how much like ice cream would you have in one sitting, like scoop wise?
Oh, like I go to the dairy, I have a kitty cup.
Okay.
A kitty cup is all I can. If I get a small, I'll throw it out because I'll have like 5 bites, be full, and then I won't eat anymore.
Oh yeah, you have like that famous Denville Dairy.
Yes, I worked there in high school. Like that's my stomping grounds. But yeah, so like I still, and then I still, my favorite things to eat are like Chinese food. I really gravitated toward Chinese food when I had the surgery because I was like, I hate making my own food. Like that's annoying. I'm fucking not doing it.
Chinese food's easy, good.
Literally, I would call and literally right in town, Oriental Express, I'm like, my girl over there, I'd be like, chicken dumplings. I'd order steamed chicken dumplings, which were amazing because then you have 8 to an order, and I'd only like eat like 3 and then I'm full, so I could save it for later. Or I'd have steamed chicken and broccoli. And you're not allowed to have rice, obviously. So I'd have steamed chicken and broccoli. So literally be steamed broccoli with the chicken, no sauce, and it was perfect.
So what are the things you can't eat at all? Like they said, don't eat this.
What did they say? Don't eat at all.
So you said no rice.
Yeah. So now in that stage.
Yes. Okay.
You're gotcha. After stage 4, we're like, so then those next 3 weeks after.
This is like
the
Marvel.
period,
We have the phases. Phase 4 now.
So now phase 4 is the final one. You're allowed to eat whatever you want. You've got to reintroduce things though, like very carefully. So it's like you introduce something. If it works, awesome. It may not work again. Be aware of that. Or you try something and it doesn't work and you're like, oh, we'll try again next month or something like that. But they said you'll have a hard time for the rest of your life with pasta, bagels, steak, and it was like another grain. Oh, bread. Like a biscuit.
Bread in general.
Yeah, like biscuits or something like that. Anything like heavy duty, where basically they're saying like it expands in your stomach and then your body tries to absorb it and it's like, girlfriend, what'd you do? Like so. Like I've tried to have bagels. I ask them, well, they do anyway. They cut it up. So like you've got your top and bottom bagel and then they cut it in half. I can only eat the 1/4 of that. The math teacher made the 1/4 of that. I can only eat that like top part of it and then I'm full. Like I can't eat anymore. And then I'll save like the rest for like dinner.
Now, do you get full quickly? Like you just like, okay, I feel full like right away. Because, you know, normally if you eat, you can eat a lot if you eat quick, if you're a fast eater,
Right.
you like 10 minutes later you have a stomach ache because
Right.
your brain didn't tell you.
Oh yeah, that feeling is never there. Like I remember what you're talking about, but I don't feel that anymore. So like I will eat like it's basically like anywhere from like 6 to 10 bites depending on how big the bites are, and then it's just like basically like it's almost like the feeling of I have a container in there and I now know it's full. And if I try to put something in, it's not going to fit.
So it was a whole different feeling.
Whole different feeling. Whole different feeling. So, and it's not like uncomfortable because you stop yourself. You're like, nope, I know. Like I was so getting used to it when I was like in like stage 3 or whatever, like when you're allowed to eat pureed stuff, I would like have it in my mouth and like, cause I was a fast eater and I still am. So like I'd have my next bite and I'm chewing and it's like going down and I'm like, oh no, it's full. And I'd like look around. I'd either like be out on a date or out whatever. I'm like, I need to run to the restroom, and like I'd have to spit it out because I'm like I can't fit it down there, and I'm not gonna get sick. And then that was the best dating during it. I was like, oh my god. Every day I was like, I'm really sorry. I had gastric sleeve surgery, and then because it's still to this day, like I'll eat. I can't like talk and eat at the same time. Or if I do, it's got to be like very long breaks in between. So on a first date, you're trying to talk and I'd be like, and like making weird faces. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just trying to fit the food into my stomach. I'm sorry. I was like, so embarrassing. And they're like, no, it's okay. I totally understand. I'm like, all right.
That was the wind.
Oh my God.
And like the outer door.
Yo, I was like there.
At first I was like, who's coming inside right now?
I was like, yo, a ghost is here. Casper.
Very windy
it's okay.
today.
Casper. Oh God, I've got the wind. But yeah, dating was crazy. But yeah, but other than that, it's been like a really good journey. It's just now like my body's getting smaller and I haven't been working out as much as I should. I really like my mom talked to me this morning. She's like, you really should start working out because like I always had tiny arms. I always had tiny legs, but I was always in my stomach. And that's literally what it is now still. Like the rest of my weight is in my stomach and not really in my legs and my arms.
Yeah, no, your legs are tiny. Yeah.
Thank you. And my mom's like, you really should work out your arms. Because like I have like a little bit like right in here. Like just like personally. Like other people would be like, yo, seriously, you're going to complain about that? But to me, compared to what I did have the last time I was little, which was like 195 little, like I had like really skinny arms and they were like buff. But now like because I lost weight so fast, now they're like a little extra skin and I'm like I don't like that.
Yeah, well, you gain a little bit of muscle, it'll probably go away right away.
Exactly. So like I even like I decided to like put the journey out like as much as I wanted to on social media, and like some people reached out like coaches and they're like, if you ever need any coaching or you need help, I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah. I was like, yeah, and I bet you have pricing too, so calm down. But yeah, so like working out, like that's starting soon. But so it leads to my next thing. Like I really want to work out, but I recently broke my ribs. So I broke 2 ribs on my left side, 1 on my right.
That was one of those other random things you were like, I can't hang out. I just broke my ribs.
Yep, I broke my ribs.
I was like, she's got to be making up these lies.
No,
but everything has been the truth.
And like I am just so accident prone, like it's ridiculous. So basically I was hanging out with my friend Michael, and since losing the weight, like my back has just really hurt. And like my lower back, like I guess from like carrying all the weight in my midsection. And so I was hanging out with him and I was like, man, like I really like I've tried to crack it. Like I used to dance, so like I know how to crack my hips, but I can't crack my back. And he's like, how about I try? And so he did it incorrectly. He picked me up facing me, and like so I wrapped my arms around him and he wrapped his arms around me and then like picked me up and like squeezed, and literally I definitely cracked my back and cracked everything else, but like he put me down and the air like escaped my body. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. How did this just happen? Like, how did he hurt me from a hug? Like, what the heck? So the next like 2 days I pretended that it wasn't a big deal and that I was just being a baby and I could handle it. But then I hung out with my boyfriend and I was like moving like a snail. Everything. I was like, okay, hold on, let me sit down. And he's like, you need to go to the doctor. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's no big deal. He's like, no, you're going to the doctor. Like, whatever. So I like skipped work, and it was like 2 weeks ago. I skipped work and then I went to the doctors, and I'm not a crier. Like, I don't cry. It's just not something I do.
Right.
You know, Italians, we don't do that. Hide our emotions. And I went in there, and the doctor came in, and he's like, okay, so what happened? I'm like, listen, like, I think I broke my ribs. Like, I'm not quite sure what happened. And he's like, okay, so what's your pain level? Literally, I start tearing up, and I'm like, I don't know. I just really can't handle this. It's a lot. I can't move my hands. I can't move my arms. I can't reach. I can't do anything. I can't pick anything up. And he's like, okay, let's do some x-rays. Did it. And I'm like, and he's like, yep, you've got two on the left side, one on the right. And I was like, how does this happen? I was like, how does this happen? And he's like, how are you, since gastric sleeve, how have you been with your vitamins? And I'm like,
because you don't drink milk.
I don't drink milk. And you are supposed to take vitamins, like, religiously.
Yeah.
And, like, I did for, like, the first, like, 3 weeks. And then I was like, oh, like, they're chewables. Oh, my God, they're disgusting.
Is it one of those, like, multivitamins? Or they're like, okay, you have to take A, B, C, D.
Right. There's one that's like a fruit snack. There's two. There's one that's like a fruit
chewables.
snack.
I'd rather just swallow
They're
it.
both chewables. They have to be chewables because you can't, like, swallow any medicine for, like, the first, like, 2 weeks unless it's, like, a necessity. So, like, I have some mental struggles, so, like, some were necessities. So, like, those I took in the morning.
So I can still take my Lexapro.
Right, yeah. Right. So, like, my antidepressants or whatever, like, I took those, and they're like, but your vitamins, they have to be chewables because it's a large dose, whatever. You can't swallow it. So one was like a fruit snack. I'm like, oh, I love this. And it was like cherry, whatever. The other one was blueberry, and it was chalky. And it was just like it was like eating a rock. And I'm like, oh, this is awful. So literally after 3 weeks, I'm like, all right, well, maybe I don't need this as much as I should. And what do you know? He's like, yeah, you needed to keep that up because you're basically your body, from lack of nutrients from eating and losing all the weight and, just, and your bones reacting, you're more fragile because you haven't been taking your vitamins. I was like, great, awesome. And I kind of like, not that I knew that, but it makes sense because I don't know whether they also talked to you about, like, you lose your hair 6 months after the surgery.
They didn't. I mean, I'm already losing my hair.
Right. So I guess they.
So
I don't notice.
Okay, I actually just bought. All right.
Lay it on me.
That's why I bought so many hats. But so, like, I'm losing so much here, and it's starting to grow out here, and I look like it's like clown hair.
No, but you trim it nicely. So
I have to trim it. My my bald friend, Bald Nick, also known as the Bald Sexy.
Okay.
He the other day,
Bald Nick,
in the nicest way possible, he said, because he's a good looking guy, but he was like very embarrassed. Like, he wasn't even losing that much hair, but he was like, he noticed it, and that's what. You know, when you notice it, it doesn't matter if other people notice it. So he just started shaving his head, but he looks good. He looks like a hitman.
Right. Awesome.
But
bald is in. Bald is in.
Bald is in. So,
it is
but I don't have a very good head for it. But I had to have my hat off, and like it was like not trimmed enough. So he was like, the nicest way. He was just like, yeah, Tim, you need to get I forget how he said it, but it was way nicer than I imagined, but I knew what he meant. He was like, oh, we got to get you a trim soon or something. But he just meant like, you look extra bald. Because like, to look less bald, you got to go fully bald. Because then you don't look balding. You just look like, hey, this is my look.
Right.
But I just bought one of those like automatic razors for your head the other day. Because I got to start doing it like all the time now.
But even like the length that it is now, I would say that, like, I wouldn't put you in the category of like, oh, that guy, he's balding.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see it really bad now, and I'm just like, oh,
right.
God, it's such a bad look.
That was me. Like, so I guess like they really, I guess, tell the females, right? Mm-hmm. So 6 months in, you lose your hair like crazy.
Is that from lack of nutrients?
Lack of nutrients, and your body reacting to basically such a crazy surgery, like such a big adjustment in surgery and body. Your body is reacting and finally like catching up to itself. So, I mean, my hair was coming out in clumps. Like, I was washing my hair and it was like in clumps, and then I'd brush my hair and clumps. And they warned me of it happening. So I had been taking, I wasn't good on my vitamins, but biotin, I was taking that.
Because your hair looks fine.
Thank you. Yeah. So basically, what was happening was even the biotin wasn't helping. Like, it was coming out from the root, like the white part, right? The follicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
That was like coming out. And I'm like, so it's not even breaking. It's literally falling out of my scalp. And I talked to my aunt as my hairdresser, and I was like, is this normal? Like, oh my God. And she's like, yep, totally normal. Probably will last about 3 months. And it did. And literally I wore my hair up all the time because, and it like, even on some parts, like it doesn't look that bad now, but like in some parts of my head, like if I put my hair up away, you can see my scalp, but
Little
it's all
patches.
growing back now, but it's growing back healthier
Yeah.
and everything. So, I mean, healthier than when it was when I was larger. So, everything for a reason. But when it was losing, I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I just remembered you said another thing. You asked me what we can't have. They warned me about soda. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so soda from the bottle, like from the gas station, yeah, that I can't do it. It's not possible.
Not at all.
Nope. I have like 2 sips and it's like intense, crazy pain from the bubbles. It's not even worth it because I love ginger ale.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm a big
And
ginger ale.
usually like I drink for a stomach ache.
Right.
Because it makes me burp.
Right. I'm like, why should this hurt? But I just can't do it, like 2 or 3 sips, and then like I'll like try to burp, but then like I've got a stomach ache for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh, not worth it. But if I go out to a restaurant and have fountain ginger ale, so like ginger ale from their restaurant, I guess from the fountain or wherever it's coming from, if the bar, that is fine. I can have that as I eat. That's totally fine. So like I'll like be like, yeah, I'll go out to eat. I'll get my ginger ale. Yeah.
And you don't drink alcohol, right?
I do not drink alcohol.
Right. So I was looking up. I was like curious, like about drinking beer and alcohol and stuff, and so I wonder what beer would be like.
Right. So I don't know from experience, but I know from like the Facebook groups, it's very like big warning because our stomachs are so small. It doesn't take much to become drunk,
That's
and
what I
then
read, yeah.
usually it leads to alcoholism with gastric sleeve patients because they don't know when enough is enough, and then they have like 5 sips and then they're like on the floor, and then they just like can't really figure out how much is too much and how much is not enough or whatever. But yeah, so that's a big concern. So I don't, but
Yeah.
if I did, that's a thing on there. But it's a lot of also just people like so I am in therapy. I go once a week, for substance abuse. Well, I'm in recovery, but I go, we talk about substance abuse recovery and then, eating habits, right? Because my biggest fear, because after a year out, your stomach is possible to be stretched, right? And so that's like my biggest fear. Like, I do not want to stretch my stomach out and gain this weight. Like, I'm not doing this over again. And, I go once a week and like I talk to her, talk the feelings out. But it's like a lot of people on here, they're not doing that. They're just like doing themselves. And like, it's such a mental shift and like a crazy reality when you're going through this that like you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, right. And people don't talk to people. And
you're becoming a different person.
Right. And then they're falling back into their habits. They had the surgery, then they're falling back into their habits of eating to make themselves feel better. And then they stretch their stomach out, gain the weight back because they lose it. Everybody loses it in the first like 4 months. You're down like 50 to 60 pounds as long as you're eating like you should. And then people start to gain it back because they're eating their emotions. And then they're like, why is this happening? But I don't know if I said, like, on there they say they'll go back to their doctors and they'll be like, I gained all my weight back. What can I do now? And they'll be like, well, you can't do the sleeve again, but we call it like revision. And it's basically they then go to gastric bypass, where if you have the gastric sleeve and it fails, your only option then, if you still want to lose the weight and like go through the surgery process, is to then go to gastric bypass because that one's like the most
Intensive, yeah.
Yeah, and like I guess very hard to stretch the stomach and come back from. So, and that's really hard because I'll post on there and be like, oh my gosh, my doctor says I've got to do it. I'm like, oh man, I feel for you. But
yeah, that's got to be terrible because if the first time was hard enough, you got to go through everything again.
Yeah, no. I mean, my friend from high school, she actually reached out to me when I put it on social media that like I was going through this process, and she said, she was going through insurance. So it was like 9 months ago she reached out, and so she was going through the process, and now she just got her surgery date like December 13th, I think she said. But her husband had got it done, but so she kind of understands it a little bit, but she was like, asking me some questions, and I was like, it's just life-changing. Like, it is scary, and I get why people don't want to do it, and they're like, I want to do it themselves. However, and it was a really hard journey. It still is hard, but I wouldn't take it back. No way. No way. It was the best decision of my life. No way.
Like the pros way outweigh the cons?
Totally. Everything. I went on vacation and I went on every ride I wanted to. I was down, let's see. Yeah, I was down about 100 pounds by the time I went to Disney, and I went on every ride. Like, so I have fake eyelashes. I have eyelash extensions. Oh my God, my nephew's so funny. My godson. He really wanted to ride the Hulk with me. Right. I don't know if you ever know like the roller coaster, the Hulk, but oh yeah, you don't like roller coasters, you said.
No, that's Universal.
It's at Universal.
I went a long time ago. I went on a couple. There was like, I don't know. That was a long time ago. I was like in high school. I went on Jaws. I went on
Right.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
There was like a Twister thing and King Kong.
Okay. Yeah. So these guys were like the new roller coasters. And so I hadn't been on Hulk since like, I don't know, like a field trip when I was in high school for like choir or band or something. And so the way the Hulk is like it's 4 across and then like the long train it is. And you're sitting there and like they put you in like the tunnel and then like you wait. And then like literally they just like skyrocket you out of the tunnel, like into the sun and like just into the roller coaster. Right. So he really wanted to go on this with me. So I go on. It was my first roller coaster that I tried and I fit and like, so I'm happy and he's excited. And he's like, you fit. Oh my God, this is so exciting. He's like 12. So he's like aware and he remembers when I couldn't fit. So, he's like, yeah, this is so exciting. Okay. So literally we go on this ride, right? And I forgot that it shoots you out of the tunnel. So we do it and they shoot out the tunnel. I scream like the little girl that I pretend that I'm not. And so whatever. It was the best. It was the best ride. Well, we come back into the docking station and he looks at me and he's like, oh no, your lashes. I'm like, what? He's like, just kidding. And I'm like, what? I was like, you're not funny. Yeah. Like he literally was trying to convince me that I lost my lashes when they skyrocketed us out. I was like, so good. You're not funny.
That's a pretty funny joke.
Oh, he's
As a kid, I would not be aware of fake lashes.
Oh yeah. He like looked at me and he was like, oh my God, your lashes. I was like, oh my God, what? And he's like, just kidding. I was like, you're not funny. You're not funny. Oh yeah. My nephews are. They're children. They're fun.
Yeah, no, kids are funny.
Yeah, and very. Is that the wind?
Yeah, it's the wind again.
Oh my gosh, make an appearance.
But you brought up a good point before it, which is something that was always in my head. Was like you took the easy way out,
right?
That kind of thing. Like, and I'm just like, just thinking to myself, like, okay, in my head, I'm like, okay, I did it. I'm out somewhere and like some like bitchy girl is just like, oh, but it doesn't count. Like you just took the easy way out. Like,
right.
Like anything like that to you?
No one hasn't. I mean, I'm sure probably people on social media probably think that, like old friends or like ex-friends or people from like high school or college or whatever. But you know, it's not. Like I really thought so too. Like it's the easy way out. It's not. Like it's basically retraining your entire body to eat again. And then like you have to deal with that. You had to deal with the side effects. And like, don't get me wrong, like I still walked, I still exercised, I still did what I was supposed to be. Like I even got like that hula hoop thing that you see on like the television where like wraps around your waist and then it's the weighted hula hoop. Like I did that for a while to try to like minimize my stomach. So like I did work. Like if you just do nothing, like I'm sure the weight will come off. Yeah. But like I was doing at least something. But like it's really hard. Like that when I got it done December 21st and then Christmas came, sitting at Christmas dinner while everyone's having like the whatever we have like at Christmas dinner, like the pastas, whatever, and I'm sitting there with beef broth, like it's really not easy.
How's your turkey? How's your ham?
Literally, that my nephews were like, "How's your beef broth?" I'm like, "It's fine, thank you."
But that's a good way to think of it. Is other people make sacrifices in different ways. You've made certain sacrifices yourself,
right?
Doing it this way,
right? And it's very challenging and like it's exhausting. Like so, I lost the weight like really quickly, and then like I've hit stalls where like I'm like, and it's been like a mental game too because like I remember I hit like, so I weighed in at 315 day of surgery, and then like a month out I was like at 295, and I was at 295 for 3 weeks. A month out of surgery. And I'm like,
that was really in your head.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm eating mashed potatoes. Why am I not losing weight? Am I not eating mashed potatoes correctly? Like, what is wrong? And like, and it was a mental game, and I was like talking to my friend Sarah, and I'm like, and gentleman I was seeing, and I was like, this is not working. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm ready to give up. Like, I feel so defeated. And they're like, your body needs to adjust, Kat. Like, chill. And I'm like, am I not doing it right? Maybe this was stupid. But
do they tell you to use the scale a lot? Be like, okay, you gotta, or is that just like?
Okay, so they
'Cause
tell
I know
you,
a lot of girls, they're just like all about the scale.
right,
I don't care about the scale. I care about how I feel.
right.
Yeah.
So they tell you to stay away from the scale. They tell you to weigh yourself once a week.
Okay.
I'm an everyday person,
Yeah.
and sometimes multiple times a day, because you weigh the least when you wake up in the morning after you use the restroom.
That's like staring at the kettle, so when it for it to boil.
You're like,
Yeah.
And literally, I weigh myself. I would track it because I also suffer from OCD, but like, so the numbers, right? I like it really latched on, and so I was really big on weighing myself at night. And then weighing myself in the morning after I use the restroom.
Yeah.
So like to see what I weighed before and what I was losing in the night, and then what I lost in the morning. And then in the morning, your least, that's what you're supposed to like weigh the least. So I go by that number, and then like I check myself throughout the day, because then I would eat certain foods or try certain foods, and they'd stay down, and I'm like, how much does this affect my weight? Like I was trying to be scientific about it, like I'm some kind of scientist when I'm not. So like, ooh, I had broccoli. Is that going to do anything? Like, whatever.
Right.
Right. But it's a big mental game. And you got to like keep up with your doctor's appointments. You got to make sure you're doing what you should be doing. I mean, and then, and then also like you got to be in therapy. Like, I don't mean like everybody who does this needs to be in therapy. I don't mean to say that.
Do they tell you should?
My doctor like hinted at it. He's like, obviously you got to 340, like, which is abnormal. You are obese by some kind of eating disorder. You're overeating. And I was like, yeah, I eat my feelings all the time. Like eating makes me feel so much better.
Like when you're bored, it's just like, what am I going to do? Like, oh, I'm not even hungry, but let me have a snack.
Right. Or I'm really hungry and then I eat and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But then like it digests and you feel like shit. And you're like, oh, well, why did I do that? And so I definitely knew like I got a bad relationship with food. So he was like, you should really like see somebody and like work that out, because now that's going to be gone. There is no more eating your feelings. But honestly, it's a work in progress. And there's people on the group. And so if you decide to do this, I can't say enough about the Facebook. They're like support groups.
Yeah.
Gastric sleep support groups.
I should have thought of that. That's a great idea.
And even, so there, and then it's everybody. I mean, it's people who are like 5 years post-op, some people who are like 2 months post-op, or people like, I've just got my surgery date. What do I need? What are my must-haves? And then it's everybody giving advice, or it's people being like, I only lost 5 pounds in the last 90 days. Like is this normal? Can someone help me? And like everybody supports everybody. But someone had a great idea. There was like a female one that I joined. I joined like everything when I went home that night when I decided to have the surgery. I was like, I'm joining every group I can. And I did. I joined this female one for New Jersey. And so it was girls from New Jersey who have had this surgery. And then, but it was people pre-op and post-op. So pre-op, this woman, I forget her name, but she had the great idea, how about we categorize all the pre-op? Why don't we all put our surgery dates, like, because it was like November, December, and January, and then I'll make separate groups for each of those. So idea. I'm in a support group just for my December 2021
Very
people.
cool.
So that way we all can talk about where we are, comparing each other,
awesome.
talk about, thanks. It's like, I mean, I thank her for like creating this, but then some of us are like, I haven't lost as much as you have, but it's okay, blah, blah, blah. So it's really supportive. So who knew social media had a positive, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? For the first time.
Yeah. It's 2022, it's media. But it's really good, but everything's still like a work in progress. Like I even, wow, I talk a lot. Which
That's good.
Yeah.
I do have another question though, like an important one for which I'm always like, I don't sleep very well. Like I try to. I take melatonin. I try to get off my phone at a certain amount of time and just lay there and go to sleep. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But how is your like energy level and your sleep? Like how was your sleep beforehand?
I definitely think I had undiagnosed sleep apnea.
Okay.
100%.
You snored really bad and stopped breathing?
Yeah, like I would go on vacation with my parents and I'd be in the next room and they would get up
Yeah.
and come over and be like, you need to be quiet. and I'm like, what? And they're like, you're snoring, literally. And like, cause on vacation, we're all like sharing rooms or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'm not even doing anything. They're like, literally the house is shaking.
I know. I know exactly what you mean.
Yes. And so, literally they tell me I don't snore anymore. I also had like a lot of sleep paralysis. I don't know if you deal with that too.
No.
Where if I slept on my back, I would like have trouble. Like I dream about trying to open my eyes and the inability to unopen my eyes.
That's scary.
Yeah.
No, I don't get that.
No, I had that, and I was
have
like,
a lot
oh,
of fights in my dreams, but that's it.
Do you have fights where like you connect with a person?
I have a really good one.
What?
So I was. Have you ever? This is so random. Have you ever watched what's that MTV show? The Challenge.
Yes.
All right.
Oh my God, huge fan.
Oh, you are? Okay, perfect.
Huge fan.
Do you know those two twins that were on the show?
I'm not.
There were two guy twins.
There were two guy twins.
Maybe like
I'm like probably 5 seasons back.
Me too.
But I need to catch up.
So I don't know. So he was talking shit to me, and then I was talking shit.
Wait, a twin in your dream?
In my dream, one of the twins. I don't remember which one.
All right,
I don't remember their names.
Right.
I just remember they were twins.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah.
And he was talking shit to me, so I was like talking shit about his brother to him. So like, you ever watch like Wolverine, and he just like dives at people with his claws out? He did that to me. He didn't have any claws though.
Okay.
Did that to me. I caught him, threw him down, and held onto his head and started punching him. I woke up to myself punching my hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I wake up like I've woken myself up being like, shut the fuck up. Like I have like angry dreams. I remember one time I was at the lake house, and in the one room on the right, there's like a bed that I sleep in, and then there's a small little bed. So my friend Blair was sleeping in that bed. I was here. And I remember I woke myself up. I was like, shut the fuck up. And he woke up. He was like, huh? And I just like pretended that I was embarrassed. So I pretended I didn't say anything. Just went back to sleep. But yeah, I have like intense dreams. I have very vivid dreams, but I just don't really sleep well, and I wake up and I'm just like,
right.
I just feel so groggy all the time.
Right.
So how's your sleeping now?
Well, I have a couple comments. Mm-hmm. So my ADHD is kicking in, so I might miss a topic, but let's go back. You punching people? I punch people in my dreams, but I can't like connect. It's like I'm almost like,
sometimes I'm in slow motion, or I can't run fast enough.
Yeah, slow motion.
Or it's
right?
almost as if you're in water and I'm like just like slow. Yeah.
Right. But I don't want you to feel alone. I was actually hanging out with my friend Sarah like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I fell asleep when we were watching Can't Hardly Wait. Do you remember that movie? Can't Hardly Wait?
Yeah.
So like that house party and Love Hewitt. Jessica Love Hewitt? Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt and whatever. And so I fell asleep, and literally she came in and she was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, the bakery needs more fudge. And she was like, what?
Fuck?
She was like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I'm sorry. I was dreaming about making a cake. And she was like, are you for real? I'm like, literally in my dream, I swear I was making a cake, but I was so embarrassed. I was like, I was falling asleep. I'm sorry. She's like, you're falling asleep. Like, it was one of those, like, you're with your friend and you're pretending you're not falling asleep, but you totally are. And they caught you. And I was like, I'm really sorry. But sleeping wise, after, you have so much energy. I mean, sometimes I still sleep like crap. Like last night I got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, like just cause I couldn't go to bed. But I still wake up way better, like with a lot more energy. I mean, it's weird because when you're in it, you don't realize it, but it's like you're carrying. It's almost like when you wake up, you're carrying so many extra bags of weight like on your shoulders from your body, and like you just don't even realize it. It's so much. So yeah, you could be tired, but you're tired. You're just there's so much extra that you're caring for, and you're so used to it that you tire yourself out just because you have it on your body. And now that it's not there, it's like I've got so much more energy. But don't get me wrong, I still love to sleep.
No, of course.
I'm a bear. I can sleep through anything. But
do you notice that you sleep less? Like you don't need as much sleep?
It's hard because I suffer from depression, so I can sleep.
No, I know.
Till whenever.
I could just stay in bed all day. Yeah,
but if I'm saying like a normal healthy cycle, like I would say I sleep probably like 8 to 9 hours. I'm a grandma.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wish I could sleep that much.
Yeah, I try to get to work by 6 in the morning because I'm a psycho. And so I'm in bed by like 9 o'clock, going to bed. And after I get like 8 to 9 hours, I wake up and I'm ready to roll. Like I'm ready to okay, let's go get work done.
I've been chasing. So right when I was my first year at Rowan, which was my third year in college, I worked as a camp counselor in the summertime.
Yeah.
So I'd wake up early. I'd be outside having fun with the kids, and I'd like go. You ever like mentally, you want to stay up, but your body wants to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then the opposite, like you want to go to sleep, but your body you just won't go to sleep.
100%.
So I remember like 10 o'clock every night, I would mentally and physically want to go to sleep. And this is the first time ever that I would wake up like excited for the day, refreshed. And I've been chasing that ever since because I was like outdoors all day, having fun, waking up. And that is what I'm chasing is like that refreshing good sleep that I have not had in a long time. Sometimes, I mean, I don't sleep that poorly and I'm not like crazy depressed, but like I just always
good,
am tired.
healthy sleep.
I'm always tired, and I hate that.
Right. No, I'm not like that anymore. I would say I definitely was, but that's gone. After like the first, I don't know, I guess it's like 4 months or so, 4 or 5 months or so, where you lose the like the big chunk of the weight. Oh my God, that's gone. You know, you're sleeping so much better. You're able to move so much better. And then like the positives, clothes
How's
fit better.
like pain? Did you have like when you had the weight? Would you have like back pain and stuff like that?
So I have a large chest. And
I didn't notice.
no, right. Sorry,
Gentlemen.
Yeah, you very very nice gentleman. And so I always had back pain, but what's been weird is so like the bottom of my back, the lumbar section always hurt because up here was extra weight. But now for the ladies out there, I've only dropped one bra size. Okay, I went from I'm not gonna even say it, but I went one cup size.
Okay.
too much. But I went one cup size, and I was like, what, 100 and whatever pounds, and I'm like, one size? Are you kidding me? And
how many guys did you have being like, oh, don't lose your boobs?
Dude, it's not even funny. Like, I was like, what are you thinking? Like, it's like a stupid shit. Like when I was like,
so dumb.
Like, it's a stupid shit. Like when I was dating and I'd be like, hey, I'm Kat. And they'd be like, meow. I'm like,
you said that to me. You, I think I even said like, do people do that? Because I don't know. And you were just like, yeah, people do that from Wedding Crashers. Kitty cat.
Oh my God,
right?
yes.
Right?
Like, kitty cat. I'm like, you need to not. You need to not. And I'm like, you're lucky I don't unmatch you right now because you're annoying me. Literally, I remember when I was fully in dating, like date mode, it was probably like 1 every 6 people would do the meow thing. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Like, well, like what the fuck do you expect me to say to that? Like, purr? Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, right?
No, you're just more like,
yeah, literally. Now I'm going to be like, for you freaking coming at me like that. But yeah, and then I tell people like, listen, I'm getting this surgery. And they'd be like, oh, that's going to be so exciting. You're going to get so healthy, but don't lose your best assets. And I'm like, excuse me? And like me, I when I'm angry, I don't hold back.
Yeah.
And yeah, they literally say that to me, don't lose your boobs. And I'm like, 1, like I have any fucking control over that. And 2, you're an asshole. I'm trying to like live longer, have babies, and you're like, don't lose my body part because it's attractive. God, you're so stupid, man.
It's a stupid thing to say.
So
Instead of like, congratulations. That's the first thing. Oh my God.
Oh no. And now I'll post photos, right? So I have a really hard time. We could talk forever. I got a lot of shit going on.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll start wrapping it up soon.
Yeah, but I still have a hard time cutting people off. I have a very hard time. Like that's probably like a natural thing. Like people will piss me off. Like even a person like the other night pissed me off, and I was like, listen, like we're cool. We can stay cool, but know that I'm done. Like I'm done with this conversation. I really don't want to talk to you anymore. We're cool. You can like my shit. I'll like your shit, whatever. But like, I really don't want to talk to you. And so I have a really hard time cutting people off. Like, people block them. And I'm like, I don't even know if I have blocked any of my exes, like whatever. I think they follow me or I follow them. I follow some exes, but not all of them, but I know they all follow me. And,
I know they all follow me.
I don't mean that.
I know
that came
they
out
all
so
follow
wrong.
me. Okay. Like,
okay,
look
that's
at
fine. But like, I just have a hard time. Like I know like my girlfriends, like my friends that are girls, they'll be like, oh yeah, they're blocked. They can't know anything. And I'm like, but why? Like, really? Did it end that badly? Like, but I guess, okay, to each his own.
That's interesting.
But like, so I don't. So literally people will say that shit to me, like, don't lose your boobs, right? And it'll piss me off. I'll be like, you're annoying. Let them know about themselves. And then the time will pass, and now it's like present day, and I'm posting photos of myself, and they'll be like, "Hey, you look so great. I can see you didn't lose them."
Oh my
and I'm like,
God.
"You are creepy," and I can't. It's like, thanks for noticing, like, jerk. Like, yeah, but whatever. Men are men.
Yeah.
Not all men, though.
Not all men. Not all men. Oh, I
Just
thought you
certain.
can't say that. Not all men.
Not all men.
Men can't say not all men. Let me see. So payment wise, are you okay to talk about that?
Yeah.
How much? So you didn't go the insurance route. Do you know how much the insurance would have paid?
The insurance would have paid for, I don't know the exact percentage, but I know I would have put down $1,000 and they would have paid the rest.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that for anybody, or is it because you had like other health problems to be like, hey, they did these tests on me and they said, because you had the hormonal stuff, and they said I can't lose weight, so I need to have this done for my health, or is it more like pretty much anybody can use their insurance? I guess it depends on the insurance.
Yeah, everyone can use their insurance. So I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and basically the whole thing is that they make you wait those 6 to 9 months because they want proof that you've tried to lose it yourself and you've failed.
Yeah.
So therefore the doctor has now recommended that this surgery take place, and now they're like, oh, based on evidence, we will now cover it. And then they cover it, and then it's
interesting.
Yeah.
Because
and I'm like, I'm not going through
from
this.
my place, they made it sound more like, we want you to wait this amount of time and we're going to weigh you, and you can't gain any weight to prove to us that you're serious about losing weight. Which is the exact opposite of what they want.
Right. The friend I was talking about from high school, who's December 13th, her schedule, first thing, she weighed in her first appointment.
Yeah,
and
me
they told
too.
her, you cannot wait anymore. Like, you have to continue to lose weight until your surgery. If you gain anything, then we won't approve you. And I'm like, what mind game is that?
I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I get it. On one hand, it doesn't really make sense.
Right. It's like, I'm here because I have an eating problem. Well, like, or some kind of, I have a bad relationship with food.
Maybe that has the insurance with it. With the insurance, maybe they make you do that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe, so just like you're not going through the motions and gaining more weight.
Maybe I'll go to your guy instead.
I mean, honestly,
I think I went to
him.
Summit because they had like really good ratings, but I just didn't even know about one place. Cedar Knolls, I could walk there.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And where did you have the surgery done?
St. Barnabas.
Okay.
In Livingston? I
Yeah.
think it is,
Did you choose that, or is that where they work
That's
out
where
of?
That's where he goes out
Okay.
of. And it was great. I had a great experience besides the nurses being the ladies that they were.
Besides, you didn't.
The
didn't like
ladies
those.
that they were. But I definitely recommend him. He's so relatable. He's down to earth, and like I have this thing where when I get nervous, I tend to like laugh and giggle.
Mm-hmm.
And literally he would talk to me about the surgery, like in like our pre-op appointments, and like I'd start laughing, and he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "I'm good. Just keep going. I'm fine. I'm getting nervous. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And literally, like when we went for the endoscopy, right? And he was like, same thing. Like he was like, "Okay, you're gonna go to sleep." And I was like, and he's like, okay, Kat. Like he was just very like, I don't know. So I've been to some doctors that are like, "What are you doing?" "Okay, whatever." And like he was just very much like relatable and
That's
like
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
He was cool. And then after he talked to me, he was like, and when he's like, you probably will have extra skin because I carried so much in my stomach. And he's like, when you're ready, we can talk about that too.
How is that? At this point?
At this point, that's where a lot of my fat still is. So I want to say like, I definitely know I'm going to have extra skin, but I've talked to him and, I've talked to him and my tattoo artist because I would like to get my back tattooed for the fact that I should wait until I'm done having children, because if I have the skin removal surgery now and I want like at least 3 kids and possibly 4 because I'm that person, and I love big families, and it's stretching and then coming back and stretching and coming back, like a new stomach, and then when it was already dealt with the old stomach. Like, so they were just like, you should wait until you're done out of your 30s having kids and then just get it done. And then you're set for the rest of your life. That's your new stomach.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Right. Because I wanted to get my back tattooed and my artist was like, yo, if you're going to get removal surgery, like it's not even worth it because because I want to get like flowers on my back. The flowers will all get stretched and the leaves won't look right. And I'm like, oh, fine, fine. Like, but she had to like, go talk to somebody because the stretch marks and the extra skin and like the elasticity of the skin. Elasticity is so different. And because you lose weight so fast, it's
that's
like,
what they say.
Yeah, it does this. It feels weird. Like the skin feels weird. Like, but, and then, I mean, I can go on. But like, even as you're losing weight, your skin actually like gets itchy because it's shrinking. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Like I'll be sitting there and like I was like my side itches and like all day long my side itches and I'll go home and I'm like, why does my side itch? And my dad will be like, because you're losing weight. It's your skin going back to normal because it's been stretched out for so many years. It's coming back and it doesn't know how to like,
how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And now it's trying and whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird. Interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, they were talking to me about removal surgery and they were saying, which they talk about in the group also because people want skin removal surgery, is that sometimes it's not covered, especially in New Jersey. Skin removal surgery, you got to prove that it's a like health concern. And I did research and I talked to my doctor about it, and he was like, he nicely said I won't have to worry about that because anything below the pelvic region is automatically a health concern. So if it goes below your pelvis, then you are a candidate for skin removal surgery. So that's what I'll probably get done later on in life. But then my sister was like, they do have like skin removal surgery for your arms, your legs, and I'm like, I don't care enough. I was like, I don't care enough. I just want a stomach that I've always dreamt about. That has never
Why
come.
not?
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So what do you eat like in a day?
What do I eat in a day?
So what did you already eat today?
Oh, today's not a good day.
So you don't eat a lot. Sometimes
don't.
you do this thing where you said before that you just like, oh my God, it's 6. I didn't eat yet all day.
Right.
So let me ask you something. What is the most you can eat in a day without being uncomfortable? Like, what if you were like, all right, I'm going to have a healthy day. I'm going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right. So on my normal, when I'm being good, like actually feeding myself correctly, I will wake up and I will have one yogurt for the morning.
Just a regular size yogurt?
Yep, regular size, light and fit. My favorite is strawberry cheesecake, just noted. And then that'll be good. I have that around 6 a.m. And then I don't eat again until like 11:30.
Okay.
And then that's normally I'll go and I'll have like a chicken and broccoli, or I'll get the chicken dumplings. The chicken dumplings, I'll have like 2 or 3, and then I'm full. Chicken and broccoli, like maybe like a softball size in circumference. Yes, math person. But I'll have like that little besides, like enough, like 5 to 6 bites, 5 to 6 good bites, and then I'm full. And then for dinner, it depends on if I'm hungry or not. Sometimes I'm not hungry, but sometimes I have to force myself to eat because you're supposed to eat 3 meals a day. I usually sometimes will have a protein shake.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Premier protein.
'Cause that's like, if you're not hungry but you like should eat, you're just like protein shake. Easy.
Right, I forgot. So phase 2 and phase 3, when you're on mashed potatoes and then when you're on pureed, you're only eating those mashed potatoes and that puree once a day. The other 2 meals you're supposed to have are 2 protein shakes. So it's literally those days you like are drinking the protein shakes and you're like, I can't wait to have mashed potatoes later. I can't wait. Or it's like, I can't wait for my meal later.
Yeah.
Because you're like living off protein shakes when you're done with it. But when I don't feel like eating, I have protein shake. Premier Protein makes Oreo cookies and cream. Oh my God, it's so good.
But is that all whey protein?
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in whey.
I don't do so well with whey.
No, I mean they do have like
that's all milk.
But you could, but again, like that's a question you could ask on the support group, and people like jump out because people make their own stuff. They make their own shit. And like,
oh, do they?
Yeah.
Because I know through them you can like buy a bunch of shakes, right?
Right.
Through where you get the surgery done.
Right. And what is just as a sidebar, which I've been doing like our whole conversation is, the only thing, which to me is not that big of a deal. My mom hates it, but like whenever I have anything to drink, anything. Water, I do drink Red Bull. I mean, I used to drink like a 20-ounce Red Bull or like 2 or 3 a day, 20-ounce Red Bull. I drink like an 8.4-ounce Red Bull, like if I can get through that. But anything I drink, I burp. I have like little burps. I can't help it.
Yeah, that's just
so like I'm
that's
over
just
here,
like your
whatever.
thing.
But
you know,
like that's they warned me that was gonna be a part of it. Like that won't ever go away.
that's not even a big deal.
I know.
Who cares?
But like those like
Yeah.
little things that like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
tell you and you're like, oh, am I gonna have to worry about that? Like it's so like little like. Who the heck cares? But just go back, like, yeah, people make their own stuff and they put it up there. They put recipes on the group chat, the group support group. They have everything. It's really
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
When I was in college at Rowan, my roommates the last year I was there, one of them had gotten the gastric bypass, and he showed me his extra skin. It was like from that movie Click. You ever see
Okay.
Click?
Yes.
Adam
Where he's,
Sandler's like, it looks like a
flipping
tongue. It really looked like that. But he also said he was also like, yo, I only sleep 5 hours a night now. I'm so energetic.
Right.
He had also would get these like air bubbles like in his throat. So he would be like eating and he'd be like having to like push it out or something. It was very weird.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound like that's what you have it unless it is.
So the one thing I will say that I deal with that I'm like, I know I shouldn't, and I'm trying to fix myself with this, but I'm just in the habit, is that I'll be finished eating and then I'll take like 3 sips of water, like 3 gulps to be like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's like a normal thing.
Like, yeah, like it's OCD too. Like whenever I'm done with a meal, like 3 big gulps, whatever. I will, sorry to our listeners, but like then like I'll burp up the water and some food and like I'll have to like then re-swallow it because the stomach was like, yo, you bitch, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not like I'm getting sick. It's just like the air is coming out, but it's lifting it with whatever came last, the 3 gulps. That's why they say you're not supposed to drink when you eat because that's what happens. But I'm like, whatever.
That's so annoying. That's annoying, but doable,
right. But then you get used to it. Like I eat and then it's like one time and then I'm like, all right, whatever.
It's all breaking a habit because you've done 30 years of doing it one way and you just,
Right.
You're going to have hopefully like 60 or 70 more doing it this way.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So, but like it is like a mind game. Like I find myself now, like I'm very like aware, like if I eat a little bit more or like more like a portion wise, if I notice like, for instance, like if I have a slice of pizza, I could have a slice of pizza now. If I were to have a slice of pizza and I could eat the whole thing and the crust, to me, I've overeaten. But like if I've just had the pizza, like I'm good. That like, but like that's a little bit of a mind game. Like I'm like, oh my God, did I eat too much? Did I not eat enough? Oh my gosh, am I stretching it? Oh my God, please don't tell me I'm stretching it. I can't.
I'm surprised you can have pizza. Pizza I thought would be like a thing.
Yeah.
With the cheese and the bread.
Yeah. I mean, you are not supposed to eat anything. Like you're not like in those like stages.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was like the puree stage. I had like a bite of pizza and swallowed it.
How are you now with pizza?
Pizza now is easy. Pizza in the stage 3. So like 9 weeks out from surgery, I had a bite of pizza and ran away. Like I was like in the kitchen and they just ordered pizza and I was like looking at it and I'm like, no one will know one bite. Oh my God. Like I was in there by myself and I was like, I can do this. And plus, if I got sick, it's just one bite. How about I? Like, that bite. So then I took a bite, I put it back, I threw it out. I threw the piece out so no one saw the bite.
No evidence.
So it was just like one little bite and then like I put it away, like just stuffed it in the trash can and like ran downstairs. And then I didn't get sick. And I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Pretty good.
So then when I was allowed to eat it, I just took it very slow. And it's good. Plain pizza is the best. And then I'm a big sucker for chicken parm pizza. But I can barely get through a slice.
I bet. Yeah.
But
I would have pepperoni.
It's delicious. So like, yeah, but everyone's different. And like, I know my cousin had this surgery and like she still gets sick. Like to this day, like
how long has it been?
It's been like 10 years and her body like just hasn't adjusted. But like, I think she's one of the rarities. I was scared I was going to be like her. Like when you talk about like fears, like I was really scared I was going to do this and I was going to lose the weight and then be miserable for the rest of my life. Like get sick after every meal, get sick after every time I eat, like, and then not like be able to enjoy anything and like whatever. And then, and then not enjoy chocolate, which remind me about chocolate. Caspa. I was really scared. Like I was like, what if I do this and I'm freaking miserable for the rest of my life and I have to say goodbye to food? Yeah, I think I had that conversation with Dr. Nussbaum and he was like, that's really rare. Like it's very, like it's like 1 out of like a like a couple hundred.
Wow.
Like, that your whole body is like, now I'm not going to like anything you put inside.
Oh, that's rough.
But you don't even need to remind me. So chocolate, my dad suggested it. I would have upset stomachs with some things that I would eat. Like I would try to have like things I shouldn't have, like queso. I tried I think it was like 3 months after surgery, I tried to have chips and queso. And it didn't end well. Not that I got sick, but like bad stomach ache. So my dad was like, "Here, have some Hershey's chocolate, like a little bar, like you get like at Halloween." And I was like, "What? We're not supposed to have sugar." And he's like, "Just trust me. Just have the little bar. Ease the stomach right away." Chocolate. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
Whether it's like the cocoa.
Lucky you.
but it happened with him too. He's like he read it somewhere that like chocolate like soothes the stomach when it's like upset. So I guess even with our new stomachs,
That's awesome.
it works. But there's like a bunch of little tricks here and there. But
Yeah.
overall, it's
So you're handling it well, adapting well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a mind game. Like I said, I'm 189 this morning. Like that's the first time I've lost in the last 35, 40 days. I was stuck at 192 for a very long time. And I was like, I guess this is where I am.
No.
And that's the mind game. Like I'd be like, all right, I guess this is where I am. This is how much I'm allowed to lose. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm happy where I'm here. And then like, that's like, I guess a stall, but I would like accept it. Like, oh, I guess this is my body telling me I'm done. And then you get out of the stall and you're like, oh, JK, not done. Okay, here we go. Ride's still going. So
this week on Thursday was going to be your first Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
After the surgery. How much do you think you're going to, what do you think your plate's going to look like?
Well, so that's really funny you say that. I woke up this morning and I came upstairs to get breakfast, and my mom was making her list because my mom makes everything from scratch. And she was like, Kat, there's one thing you want on the table. What's that one thing? Like, I love my mom, but that's her. And I was like, I mean, I would really like sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top.
Hell yeah.
And she was like, okay, we can do that. And I was like, and your stuffing. I love your stuffing. And she was like, okay, we can do that. So it's hard because last Thanksgiving and all the other Thanksgivings, like, I was like a 2-plater. Like, I was first helping, second helping, and then later in the night, maybe another helping. And then the next morning, we reheated up. Like, I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but like, I guess I'm just going to have to be really careful because I'm going to want everything.
Yeah.
I know I am. And I'm probably going to have to like coach myself beforehand to like basically put little portions all over my plate
so you can have
and
a
then basically be like
everything.
a bite of everything, like a carousel until like I'm full. So that way I don't like eat like 3 things of stuffing and I'm like, oh my God, I got no room for turkey.
Right? Yeah.
Dang it.
Oh.
But as long as, the gravy doesn't upset my stomach, I'm just prepared. I'm prepared for it. But I just like the sauces.
Now you're Italian, so by gravy you mean
the gravy for the turkey, the brown.
Real gravy.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then cranberry sauce.
You want one of those?
No. One of those people.
Do you get the cranberry out of the can? I think most people do the cranberry in the can. That's a norm.
All right. So my mom does both.
I like that. That's
she
good.
does the sauce and she does the can. But I am guilty of the can.
Yeah, most people just like the can.
I love
it's
the
crazy.
Can. I'll be like, Mom, did you get a can? And like, we'll go through it. She'll be like, no one's gonna eat this. She puts it on the table. Everyone goes for it. And I'm like, Mom, did you get a couple extra? She's like, I got 2. I'm like, thinking ahead, Ma. Smart girl.
Everyone goes for the can.
Everyone goes for the can. But yeah, even that was like also like a mental game, like knowing like it was like one of my like last supper meals last year, and now it's not. And so it's interesting to see how it goes. I will definitely report back to you because it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I might look back into it. Maybe I'll just see what your doctor has to say.
Honestly, because he and he has his own program. Like he makes his own snacks, like which are delicious.
Really?
He makes his own protein bars and his own protein shake mix. I'm pretty sure it's just a little expensive, the protein shake mix. So I just got the bars. Like a salted caramel. Like when I was able to eat them, I was like, this is the best ever. And it's really good. And he's a great guy. So
very cool.
And plus he's been doing this, like my dad, he did my dad's in 2008.
So he's mastered.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
He's very successful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you have anything else to say, any shout outs or whatnot.
Any shout outs. Thanks to everyone who supported me.
Yeah.
I got a lot. My family has supported me through this. My friends have supported me and like been there through the mental stuff. Like, I'm never going to lose anything. But yeah, and thanks for hearing my story because
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Thanks for coming on.
I wish someone was like this when I was thinking about it.
Right. Yeah.
Or at least available to ask questions because like I'm always here. You're always able to ask me questions.
Yeah, I have so many questions. I've been like asking you questions ever since you got it.
Right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, if you tag me in this, people can ask me questions if they got them.
No, I will. Yeah, you can post it on your Facebook or whatnot.
100%.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. But this was episode 4 of the Buddy List. But thanks for watching, everybody, as always. And we'll see you next time.